Okay. All right. So, I mean, launching your own website and then going through everything you mentioned, first of all, it comes with a startup cost where you have to get
Yep.
your website done. And then there is traffic, the cost of driving traffic to it. That's the next challenge, which is the most expensive.
Yep.
And then the conversion is another piece, because how is your shopping, how is your checkout behaving, right? So what is your shopping cart abandonment rate? So usually those numbers are huge, and of course that's where you are bleeding and you need to optimize. And I actually wrote a whole article about this. The online retail challenge comes with the upfront cost. Then you have to drive traffic. Then you have to make sure you're converting. Then if you do all those things, even if you have deep pockets, it's hard to do with limited budget, and you achieve it. Now you've got a fulfillment operation that you have to be in charge of, where your margins set to allow 3PL and things like that. I'm not obviously I'm not advocating against it by all means. I'm just saying these are the things that
these are facts.
Yeah,
These are facts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
we have,
I would say if you're not ready for that leap and you don't have the capital to invest, and it's not an overnight success. That's why, coming back to the point here, like launching into a different marketplace, another Amazon marketplace, is always going to be the path of least resistance and the thing that you'll be able to scale up quickest with the biggest yield in the short term, typically. It really depends as well. Like, coming back to it, if you're trying to hit become an 8-figure, 20% margin business, then these are the types of decisions you start to make and say, well, how big is the total addressable market? And if I really get my product strategy, my brand strategy right, and I know what the next 15 products are, and they're aligned with my audience is going to keep buying them, and I can increase the total lifetime customer value here, then building that owned list of customers where I can market and email them directly and bring them in through Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, and do all these very strategic things to own that relationship, then it starts to become a very different animal. And coming right back to the start of our conversation here, I think the big shift, and that everyone needs to be sort of absorbing in our conversation here today, is that you need to be a real brand today in order to have the degrees of success that we've seen over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, where it's been an absolute buying frenzy, because multiples aren't going down once you start to hit, some of these larger numbers. They grow. That's typically how it works. And so if you can get through and figure your way through this journey on Amazon and D2C, a mixture of both, retail, wholesale, whatever it is, if you can get to these really meaningful numbers, then all of a sudden it's a totally different game that you're playing.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a real business, right? So you've got a real business at the end of the day.